Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holder Community, Oceania Hundokke. I know it's daylight saving, so we're an hour earlier. And this Sunday, we will have Reverend Stone offer the message on this 5th of October 2025, or the 14th of August in the 13th year of Chonilguk. Thank you all for coming, and let's begin with a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, Chanji Chaponinge, Gumbe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English.
하전맨세 5. 천일급 주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 전산세계와 대산적 지산세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 5. Our family, the owner of Chonilguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. Thank you, and I'd like to share that prayer Mother gave. The year of the Blue Dragon, the 12th year of Chonilguk. In this year of the Blue Dragon, all negative energy will dissipate. And now, as we are approaching the 13th year, a number symbolizing completion, we must finalize all aspects of the entrance ceremony into Chongwon-gun and the Chongil Sanctum. Just as the heavens have blessed us with pure white snow, completely free of shadows and negative energy, this year is of great importance. Therefore, we must all unite for the sake of the providence. So let's enter this hopeful 12th year of Chonilguk fully prepared in every way with perfect order and organization. Arju. Thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Stone as he shares this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Let me just share the screen. Just okay. All right, so I've titled this message this morning, "The Secret Formula to Transform the World." So just down here. So as we know, True Mother has basically, as she did when True Father went to the spiritual world just 13 years ago, she basically, first things she said was, let's go forward without stopping. And now, of course, True Mother is saying something fairly similar as she is in detention right now as we speak. So today is the beginning of the 14th day of her detention, I believe, and as we know, there's a strong parallel with Jesus on the cross 2,000 years ago. So in a sense, right now, Mother's on the cross. And she's given authority to the inheritors of heaven's love and blessing, which is Shinchol Nim and Shinhong Nim, together with their four-position families, which is Yona Nim's family and Hunsuk Nim's families, which is the families of the eldest son, Hyojinim, and Hungjinim, as well as the Council of Leaders. And they're urging us to really focus on Mother's heart and will for us at this very challenging time. So it's really important that we understand their message. We have heard, fairly clearly about the issues of unity and forgiveness and proceeding forward with our witnessing more and more strongly. So Mother wants us to go forward even stronger with our missions, with our outreach, with our witnessing, our mission to testify to the only begotten daughter and to our two parents. So what I want to talk about today about, how we can, what is the secret to transforming the world? And this is based on a book or content of a book which has just come out. It's called How Christians Can Succeed Today, Reclaiming the Genius of the Early Church. These two men here are, the one here is Greg Sheridan. He's the writer of the book. This is his third sort of book in a trilogy about the importance of Christianity for Australia. He is the foreign editor of the Australian newspaper. And he's been to actually one of our conferences way back. And he's a very strong Catholic, conservative Catholic, and kind of an expert also in defence. He writes a lot about Australia needing to spend more on defence. The other man there next to him is Stan Grant. He's also a Catholic. He's an Aboriginal Australian with Irish descent as well as Aboriginal descent. And he's also a committed Christian. And so Greg Sheridan asked Stan Grant to help him launch the book. And Stan Grant's comment was, a God-filled book of truth and wonder and the glorious mystical experience of faith. And I feel there's a lot of interesting things we can learn about it for our own current situation right now. So this is as I said, the new novel by Greg Sheridan, How Christians Can Succeed Today. And that's the third title of Greg Sheridan's best-selling trilogy about Christianity in the modern world. And I'm quoting from his book now. How do you react when you're confronted with death, with misery and contagion, threats to your own health and to your own life? For a group that began by having its leader publicly executed and that was derided as contemptible, weird, incomprehensible, and bizarre, the early Christians, to the astonishment and chagrin of the civil authorities, eventually earned a good, indeed stellar, reputation. And two recurring events, periodic, dramatic, and unavoidable in Roman life, caused this change. So you think about the situation. Jesus, like a rabbi, if you like, but spurned by his own people, executed amongst criminals as a criminal. And, and then that's the start. What a start, And he only had 3 years of ministry and not much recorded words, really, So the two dramatic events that really launched Christianity from this miserable situation. One was, according to Greg Sheridan, one was the contrasting Christian and pagan response to plagues, and the other was the episodic but sometimes intense persecution that Christians endured. The Galen and the Cyprian plagues. There were lots of epidemics in the ancient world, but there were two major historic plagues in the first centuries after Christianity was established. The first, sometimes called the Galen plague, after the Greek physician Galen of Pergamon, who chronicled it, began in the year 165 after Christ, probably with soldiers, and it killed millions. No one knows for sure how many died, perhaps 10% of the entire population. The Cyprian plague, named after this is the second one, named after the North African bishop Cyprian of Carthage, began in the year 251 after Christ and also killed millions. At its height, 5,000 people a day died in Rome, and it ran for 20 years. So the general performance of pagan society in plagues, was appalling. Predominantly, people ran away whenever they could. When relatives contracted the plague, families often put them out on the street while they were still alive, leaving them to die agonizingly, alone and neglected, in an effort to keep the disease away. Bodies piled up in the street and in public houses, food distribution broke down, and the army was decimated. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing out of my, not that whether you can see it, but something coming down. Okay, next slide. The Christian response was the opposite. They stayed to help. They nursed each other, and when they could, they nursed their pagan neighbors. Not everyone, not even a majority, who gets the plague illness dies. Their chance of survival are vastly improved when they receive even basic nursing, so that when they are most sick, some reassuring figure provides them food and drink. Do even that much, and survival rates soar. Further, Christians who got the disease early and survived often developed some immunity, and this looked miraculous. The psychological response was radically different too. In the face of death, Christians still believed that life had meaning. Christians were psychologically and spiritually equipped to respond helpfully in the plagues because they'd already learned to love others, to serve others. They judged human life in the perspective of eternity. Dionysius, the Bishop of Alexandria, wrote, "Most of our brother Christians showed unbounded love and loyalty, never sparing themselves, thinking only of one another. Heedless of danger, they took charge of the sick, attending to their every need and ministering to them in Christ." So Dionysius was the 14th Pope and Patriarch of Alexandria from 28th of December 248 until his death in 264. So you can see that the total contrast between the way normal people, well, pagan people, as Greg Sheridan refers to them, who didn't believe in Jesus, and those who did, was so contrasting in response to this devastating plague. And then in Matthew 10:22, it reads, "All men will hate you because of me, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved." So modern Western Christians, this is Greg Sheridan again, modern Western Christians live in an unsympathetic culture, but face nothing like the persecutions of the early Christians. These are faced by Christians in some other parts of the world, in parts of Asia and Africa especially. Jesus himself, though, he brought the good news, predicted these persecutions. The world will despise you for my name's sake. So the early Christians had no idea of the role they would play in history, but they turned the world upside down. Their charity in plagues, their courage in persecution, their relationship with Jesus, and their solidarity with each other and with all human beings were the secret formula. So, starting in such a low position, you could say Christianity was really behind the 8 ball. It was really, in a very, very difficult situation. And yet, and of course, this is to say nothing of much of the persecution that they experienced. For example, under Nero, kind of crazy, emperor of the Roman Empire. They were kind of blamed for the fires, and the cruelty that they faced was immense. They were they were grabbed and put into colosseums and fed to lions and wild animals, torn apart in front of sort of cheering crowds. I mean, what kind of persecution were they facing? And yet they still clung on to their faith in Jesus. So what an incredible thing that was. Sometimes the women were Christian women were from high rank, and yet, they were also persecuted and raped and all kinds of things. So the persecution that the Christians faced at that time was severe at times, very, very severe. And yet they clung to their faith. And as he was saying, the key was their response, their courage in persecution, their charity in plagues, their sort of undying relationship with Jesus, their faith, in other words, their solidarity, their unity with each other and with all human beings, and their love. And that was what everybody saw. The incredible contrast. And so from this very, very low beginning, the thing that really, the secret formula was that kind of response that they had to this incredibly difficult circumstance. So, Sheridan's conclusion, of course, and supported by Stan Grant, was that how Christians can succeed today, reclaiming the genius of the early church. So powerful was this internal content that it transformed the world. And Christianity has become, of course, over 2,000 years, the biggest religion in the world, making such an incredible impact on the world. So I would say we can learn something. Well, yes, of course, we're at, our mother's situation is extreme and unexpected and shocking, and it brings all kinds of responses in our hearts to many different members. But I would say, let us think about replacing how Christians can succeed today with how unificationists can succeed today, and what we can learn from the genius of the early church and from what really did create an incredible turning point for the world. So this is really, really important, what we can learn from this today. So that's why I've replaced the name of the book with how unificationists can succeed today. So I want to just, on that basis, I want to think about carefully the beauty and importance of the message of Finchul, which he gave on the day, I think, True Mother went into imprisonment. So, message of Moon Shin Chul, inheritor of heaven's love and blessing, September the 23rd, 2025, Chunchim 1 night vigil devotion. So he says, so personally, my thinking is, what does True Mother want most from us right now? A rally? Some kind of statement? Reform initiatives? When we think about it, True Mother has consistently said from beginning to end that she is the mother of peace and asked us to pray for the world. The society expects us to protest or take radical action. True Mother would say, forgive and love. Show society through your actions. Even if they cannot believe me, let them see my sons and daughters who follow me. At this moment, when true mother, who is more precious than our own lives, is separated from us, wouldn't she wish that we forgive, love, and move forward in prayer for Korea and society? Now, isn't that a profound message when you think about that, the secret that, that Greg Sheridan was talking about, and which is really true, how Christianity come from such a low place and transform the world as it has done in such an impactful way. So this is pretty well the same message, isn't it? We have to demonstrate with our lives, with our love, and with how we respond here. It's really, really important. And on the basis of the quality of our response, we will be able to change the world. We truly will be able to move this world and turn it upside down, so to speak. So, we heard this yesterday, but I feel because of the similarity of the message, as well as a summary of the message that we're getting from the inheritors of God's love and blessing, and also the Four Position Foundation and the Council. This is from Reverend Song, the national leader now of Korea, and we read this yesterday. But I want to just go over it because it's really essentially, let's really consider this very carefully, very carefully. So he said in this kind of like a briefing, even as she remains alone behind cold bars, True Mother's heart aches, not for her own safety and well-being, but for the concern that her sons and daughters might lose heart. Contemplating this sacrificial love, let us engrave once more upon our hearts the words of love she has bestowed upon us. Do not worry about me. Do not pray for me. Instead, pray and offer devotion for yourselves and your families, for our church, and for the fulfillment of our Heavenly Parents' will. So Jesus on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. That incredible quality of love captured the hearts of his followers and Christians. And that heart is really also expressed by True Mother as she's on the cross right now. She's saying, don't think of me. Think of the world. Think of Korea. What is Korea doing? What impact will this have on Korea? What will it have? How will our members be able to find the right direction right now? She's praying for that. She's asking us to pray for that. And it's so important that we really understand True Mother's requests from heaven. These words are not merely words of comfort. They are a beacon of hope that illuminates the way forward and a solemn command for us to uphold. In response, the Family Federation humbly and firmly pledges in attendance to True Mother's profound will to overcome today's trial with dignity and move forward unwaveringly, declaring our position. Though our hearts burn with anguish and darkness lies before our eyes, we shall follow Mother's words, transforming sorrow into courage and sublimating tears into prayer as we advance with quiet determination. A beautiful message. First, we express our profound regret over the court's decision. We will continue to bear witness to True Mother's innocence to the very end. Though the light of truth may be temporarily obscured, it can never be hidden forever. We shall not cease our efforts through legal and peaceful means until the day her unjust suffering is resolved and her honor is restored. It reminds me actually of the words of St. Paul, how he in the midst of extreme persecution and the threat of his own death, he was able to stand up so strongly for Jesus and proclaim the message of love, that Jesus taught. So this is our mission, this is our mission. our mission is to represent the heart of mother and father. And this will be a turning point for the world and for of course for us as well. Second, we will use this time of trial as an opportunity to strengthen the bonds of our faith community. The greater the external challenges, the more firmly we must stand united around True Mother. Let us set aside any voices of doubt or criticism towards one another and instead offer warm comfort and encouragement, demonstrating the maturity of a mutual, supportive, loving, and united community. May our tears become prayers that move heaven, and may our devotions become candles that illuminate the truth. This is an incredible opportunity for us right now to be able to bring such an impact on the world through our true and virtuous response to this travesty of justice. Third, we will view this hardship as a mirror for reflection and remain steadfast in our efforts towards renewal, striving to become a more trusted and exemplary community, following the path of renewal that True Mother has urged us to walk. We will examine ourselves and address areas where we have fallen short. Through this process, we will stand firm as a community of true love, serving as the light and salt of society. So a humble response is really important. Of course, we are all imperfect. We all have made mistakes. And so, this is what Jesus taught us. This is what Mother teaches us and Father teaches us. We have to be very purify ourselves constantly as we look forward to where we have to go. So, beloved brothers and sisters, just as the deepest darkness of the night heralds the dawn's first light, let us firmly believe that this present suffering is not an end that plunges us into despair, but rather heaven's providence preparing us to greet the morning of great glory. When our faith and love are one, heaven will surely be with us. Let us unite with more earnest prayer. With more earnest prayer, more steadfast faith, and more fervent love to cross together this river of tribulations. October the 2nd, Family Federation for World Peace. So just drawing this to a conclusion, the secret formula to transform the world. And this is the first paragraph is the quote you read earlier. Well, I read earlier from Greg Sheridan. The early Christians had no idea of the role they would play in history, but they turned the world upside down. Their charity in plagues, their courage in persecution, their relationship with Jesus, and their solidarity with each other and with all human beings were the secret formula. So, okay, let's just replace that. Let's update that 2,000 years later to our own situation. So that reading that same paragraph, replacing a few words. So unificationists have no idea of our role, of the role they would play in history or had anyway. But they turned the world upside down. Their practice of living for the sake of others, their courage in persecution, their relationship with True Parents and Holy Mother Han, and their unity with each other and with all human beings were the secret formula. So thank you, everyone, for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Stone, for sharing that and highlighting that a connection between the Christian history and today with Mother's circumstance. I also feel the same, that there's a strong connection to that time and today, and seeing that elements of that secret formula, which really is just the practice of living for the sake of others, and really not complaining, but having a humble heart and having a heart that is genuinely grateful for where we are. and to really unite together. And I think that that's our strength, and where we are so different from the time of Jesus. Jesus died on the cross really alone. Unfortunately, every one of his disciples abandoned him, and even Jesus foreknew some of those things, but gave them the opportunity to turn and accept their responsibility. Telling Peter, you'll deny me 3 times before the cock crows, but and that also gave the opportunity for him not to do that. I mean, sometimes when you are told something, if you're never told anything, then you just follow that way because of fear and mostly fear. I'm sure they had, because they were afraid, to be crucified themselves. But sometimes when you're told you're going to do such a thing, that can cause a rallying within your spirit, so that you say, no, I'm not going to do that. Even though I feel like doing that, I won't do it. And so I think by Jesus saying these things to them, it caused their conscience to move, but not enough, unfortunately, in the time of Jesus. Even with the Judas, saying to him, do what you have to. Again, and knowing the circumstances and giving the opportunity for people to act out their responsibility. And so something we all have and cannot be taken away is our responsibility. And sometimes we need that nudge to highlight and see what we have to do. And times like this give us that. And in the time of Jesus, Jesus prayed and in Gethsemane and asked his disciples, 3 of them, to stay awake, but unfortunately they couldn't. And Jesus went to the cross and said those statements of love on the cross. Today, I think it's a similar parallel, but unlike Jesus, Mother does have many thousands of members around the world who are united with her and determined to proclaim the truth, that Mother is the Holy Mother Han, the only begotten daughter, and by staying connected and solid through this time, then Mother can avoid the circumstances within prison. Father survived 6 times the cross through, and the final one being in Danbury prison. And then, as we know, the time within Danbury prison, your father spent more resources to save America than he did prior to that time. And being in America at that time, getting those books to give to the ministers and getting those mobile homes and trucks and so much activity happened. Like the growth of the movement was exponential, and so many people got to hear and understand about our true Father. And I feel that this is a parallel time. And yes, it looks difficult, but we are already, I think, so much better than the time of Christ, because Mother has so many of us who really sincerely are connecting and following her will, which is really to proclaim the truth and to really move their hearts so that the Spirit can enter and that the transformation takes place. It's not only our personal transformation, but also the people that we witness to can be transformed. And we know that through the blessing, then God's family expands and grows and God's will is done. And so, as Jesus said, not as I will, but as you will. And Mother is saying the same thing, that we follow Heavenly Parent's will. And Heavenly Parent's will is to bring about Chongalguk substantially for all people. And it doesn't matter how negative they are, the kingdom will occur. So, thank you, Reverend Stone, for sharing, and I think we are united in solidarity with our mother, and success is on the horizon. So thank you, and open it up to anyone else who'd like to share or make a comment. Yes, Mr. Wright, go ahead.
Thank you, Greg, and truly for Foundation family connected, understand, inherit too much message, but also we tried to really inherit, forgive, and love. That is a true message. Today, I think I'd like to share about yesterday, what happened in Japan. I think you may know all, and, but I'd like to really share our heart. I think we thanked God yesterday with tear yesterday. As you know, like 10 days within the Liberal Party went like a kind of election, selected leader. 5 leader went to election. Then a result was happened yesterday. So many media and also predict Mr. Koizumi, one of the younger leader. I think many people think maybe 90% also me, he will win. But he's a person, current government, and also former Mr. Prime Minister Kishida, that the government is decided unification church is all organized. Then they supported Mr. Koizumi. And many people, media, I think 90% he can win kind of landslide. But yesterday, it's I do not want to see the process because already like decided, but incredible. We wished Miss Takaichi, and we pray, we wish, but we could not imagine she can win. But she dramatically won, very amazingly. She's a person who connected to us, but to quite understand, but also she's the true successor of Mr. Abe. Is a true success of Mr. Abe. Then many people who are not cried in the election result, but yesterday, many people cried. Me too. Tears could not stop sometimes. Incredible. Some people say, could Mr. Abe, you can see this. You can see this happened. She is a person really inherited you, and so I think young one, Mr. Koizumi, and obviously, inside no idea, but many people in behind, if he become a prime minister, easy to handle, easy to control, then even he cannot do people, many people, support him. this is politics. It is incredible. But I really realize many of the conservative people, truly conservative party people, they existed in Japan. And she can deal with truly with her ability, personality, and vision with Trump. Even she can very strongly stand Putin, Xi Jinping, that kind of persons. But the other persons cannot do, and everyone know that politics is incredible. But yesterday was one of the joy, and I don't know how happened to our High Court decision. It's an influence, not sure, but current government was formed the organization to persecute us. Then person who has supported the government could not win. It is incredible. We are truly thanks God. You may know, but so yesterday, even Tanaka posted it very quickly, and also got many people say. And yesterday was amazing. We had a lot of difficulty time trial, and happened this, election. So I think Trump will come to see her 26 this month, and many things happen. So one of the Japan it's found out true leader of this nation. Congratulations. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations. That's great news. Yeah. Is there anyone else that likes to make a comment or share? Please do.
Well, sorry, I got a bit late, but it shows that we can be hopeful for the future, and that gives an open for Korea as well. So that gives us a lot of hope for the future, really. And yeah, so we can be confident, to pray strongly for True Mother, for the future. That's all I can say really in the moment. That's wonderful. And so he told me, my wife was just watching her, and I said, "Where's that lady?" She said, "Well, she's got to be the next prime minister in Japan." Oh, that's great, wonderful, hallelujah.
Thank you. Yes, Janine, go ahead.
even though, yeah, anyway, that's wonderful, Mr. Arai. It's wonderful. Even though we're comparing it to Jesus' crucifixion, in my mind, I'm thinking it's more compared to when Jesus was before Pilate, because there's still a possibility that there's still a hope, and we're working towards that. It's resolved. Whereas with Jesus, it was the end. And the other thing I was thinking was that, when the disciples left Jesus, betrayed Jesus, God really used that. They really had a fire in their belly to stand up and to be crucified and to go all that, to do all those things, to stand up and be persecuted because they'd be even more because they'd betrayed Jesus. It wasn't it. God really used that. But anyway, the bottom line is the message today, that we really need to stand up and be able to be willing to do all those things that the Christians did, to protect Mother.
Yeah, thank you, Janine. Yeah, go ahead, Katrine. Yeah.
Yes, one of the things, well, thank you. Very wonderful presentation of Greg, and of course the great news of given by Mr. Arai. And one of the things True Mother says as well is to go back to when the movement started, when we first discovered the principle, and when we first felt we had to change our hearts. And I feel very much so these days. And yesterday also a few of us were witnessing, and we brought different kind of people, and it felt so good to talk about, the movement that we have been so happy to be part of. And I think it's good to feel again the pride of being part of such a movement of our two parents. And that's the best way we could inspire True Mother these days to revive the movement and to keep it very much alive. To just continue doing what we should have been doing all these last years. And anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Katrine. Yeah, yes, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, just little addition to. So yesterday after that, I talked to kind of close Japanese friend about the election result. Then he said, "Oh, she's it's ultra light." So the normal people are so much already influenced by media. Left side media is so strong. So they, Mr. Takaichi, he's a person, not, it's against that media. Her determination is so strong. And so political leader is, it's a big mission, because we say, live for others. And then like a political leader like she is truly many area, day and night, really try to thinking for the nation, and even working hard, but criticize every minute, every day, all the time. from left media. So she has to fight incredible daily. So she has a big mission that she has to really fight all the time. So I think, so we facing sometimes persecution maybe, but I think she always she has to overcome. And I think she can do. And anyway, I pray for her to success. Thank you.
Thank you. And while you're sharing there, I just want to share this. I just was looking up on Australian newspaper or Australian news said that Sene Takaichi said to be Japan's first female PM after winning Liberal Democratic Party leadership contest, and then shows her there with something written, obviously, and it goes on to say that she won the Liberal Democratic Party's leadership, and what's next? If approved by a vote in Parliament, she will become Japan's first female Prime Minister. So yeah, that's quite amazing news and interesting to see. She looks a very young woman. So yeah. So thank you everyone, and it's great news for Japan, and let's hope she does and stands up for the conservative view very strongly. It's time now for us to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just bring up the screen. Okay, thank you, and let's pray together. Jew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Reverend Stone, for sharing, and I hope everyone has a great day and see you all again. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Greg, today so much. Always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Yeah.